Right. Second episode of the Tires and Threads podcast. Cars that are
Yeah.
too expensive are going to be subject to conversation this time. Also, on the day of the release of this podcast, well, this specific episode, it's going to be May 8th. So it's going to be Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there, all upcoming mothers, all everything in between. Just happy Mother's Day to you. This is the day, and I don't really know what to say. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not really a mother, but my birthday is today as well.
Yeah.
So
Yes, today is kind of a little bit of a sure. We got a short panel here. I mean, a narrow panel. You got me, Max Soren, and we got John Peterson here, who is celebrating his birthday today. Also May 8th.
yeah.
So a little bit of an applause for that.
Woo!
Yeah. Probably during editing, I just had a clap track in the background or something like that.
Yeah, some sitcom type shit.
Right. As I previously mentioned, cars that are too expensive is gonna be today's talking subject. So, John, do you want to start it off?
Yeah, I mean, cars that are too expensive, right?
For what they're worth.
Yeah. So the way I kind of look at a car to see if it's too expensive is mainly if the car handles good, has a good top speed. Of course, some cars are a bit slower than others because they're not meant to be super fast, right? But there are some cars in mind that I feel are too expensive compared to how good they are and how good they perform. And one of those cars that I want to speak about is definitely imports.
Imports. I did
Yes.
not see that one coming.
The imports, although they are a really rare quantity of them, some of the imports are going upwards to 15 to 16 million dollars. And I feel like for the handling, acceleration, and everything that comes with that car itself, it's not worth the 16 million. Although it's like a super rare car, it's not worth it in my opinion.
Personally, how I see imports, I see it as the ultimate flex. You've already done in the city all that you have set out to do, or almost everything you have set out to do, and you just got this massive chunk of change burning your pocket, or you are feeling lucky, maybe going to a raffle or something like that, and an import. It is the price of a major business. Not to mention the opportunity to buy a business is extremely rare, but it's the price of a major business, but a car. The performance speaks for itself. Like, if you look at the Nissan GTR, incredible off-road capabilities. The AMG GTR, the handling is like a goddamn train. It's on rails. It's unrealistic. Like, these cars are astounding in their own way.
And let's not ignore the Aston Martin.
Oh,
I've only seen good things about that car.
I've seen people say a lot of shit about it. Actually, like, it's not worth. Like, it's not worth what it actually is.
Yeah, that might be true, but from what I know, there's like only a handful of them, if not only one. You know.
Well,
So
I think I know at least 3.
3 Aston Martins, the ones that Matthew Duckworth has.
Yeah, Maddie has one. There were I can't remember all of them from my head.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure there were 3 in total.
Yeah,
I heard a guy named Bobby Shen has one as well.
Oh damn! Okay.
And there maybe. And this just is in the back of my head, but a guy named Francis. I don't know. Some sort. I don't know. A lot of people that play in the EST hours in the. I spoke wrong. A lot of people that fly in the city in the EST hours and all that kind of stuff. I don't really know too many of those guys. So maybe one of them has an Aston Martin that I don't know of.
Of course, there might be a lot of other imports that we haven't seen because of time zones as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there's 9 of them. The Land Rover, the Civic, the Aston Martin.
You mean the Range Rover, right?
Yeah. Wait,
the Land Rover is a Toyota. The Range Rover is like the British car.
Huh. My mistake. Range Rover, Civic, Aston Martin, 370Z, Subaru GTR, BMW, Urus, AMG.
Yeah, that's about 9.
That is 9.
I can't say that I've seen anything else.
The one thing that pisses me off, there are the major countries, there are major flagships of the world of automotive. You got the British, and from the British we got 2 imports. That's the Range Rover and the Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Then you got the Germans. They bring out the BMW and the Mercedes-AMG GTR. Then you got the Italians. They got their flagship SUV as in the form of the Lamborghini Urus. You got the Japanese, who have the Nissan GTR, Subaru, and Civic. I mean, then there's Sweden with Koenigsegg and Volvos, but I mean that's nothing too major. Same with France, Citroens, Renaults, and Bugattis.
Yeah.
But the one country that's missing in this city is the United States.
Yeah.
There is there should be a 10th import. And it should be maybe a 69 Charger, a Mach 1 Mustang, a Mercury Cougar, a Buick Wildcat. Something, please.
A Ford Mustang, for that sake.
A Ford Mustang.
No, not the Ford Mustang, but the Ford GT.
Oh, a GT Shelby. GT 500.
Either the old GT or the new GT. The one that looks like the FMJ.
The FMJ?
The Full Metal Jacket. It's a car in the city.
Oh, the Ford GT.
Yeah, the Ford GT.
Oh, the Ford GT40. Oh, that would be brilliant.
Yeah,
more of a classical one.
No. The 2018.
Oh, the new one? The 2017, I think it was.
Yeah.
That would be a fantastic option. That would be a
fantastic. That would be a really sick import.
Yes.
If you think about it.
Fully agree. Honestly, looking at the rest of them, it fits in perfectly.
Yeah.
If any members of the church are listening to this, GT40, please, thank you. Moving on. Otherwise, we'll be here all day about them damn imports.
Yeah.
Right. I have a car that I just do not understand why it is even up for sale. And that would be the Ruston.
Ruston?
Yeah, you might want to look that thing up on the catalog. But the Ruston costs from a dealership. It's one of those cars that I don't think it's one of the actually.
Oh yeah, it's the one without the roof, right?
Yeah, it's the one without the roof. I believe it's a replica of an XTM something.
That could be.
Let me just type some things in. Yeah, this thing looks like a XTM Crossbow, something like that. It's a 2-door vehicle without a roof or even a windshield. I don't think. Yeah, it has even no windshield, and this thing costs a whopping $1.6 million.
What? So you're telling me that I can buy a Italia GTO for the same price as that car?
My mistake. $1.7 million. Yeah.
I can buy a GTO, a Italia GTO, fully upgraded for that price.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
I don't really see a use with that car though.
Dude, if you flip it, you're dead.
Yeah.
Your head is gonna be in the intersection behind you.
Yeah, not only that, but if you end up in a shootout, the only thing they're gonna aim for is your head, because they can see your entire body.
Yeah, I mean, you are looking for a more practical use angle, I guess.
Yeah, but then if you think about it, right? At least the cops can't take you for illegal tint.
They'll get you for something.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna say that shit's not street legal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
They're gonna find something. They always do.
Well, yeah, the car is street legal because it has mirrors, turning lights, hazard lights, and everything like that.
Now,
so
I think they might. I think they might piss on the fact that. Do you know why pop-up headlights have been banned? And well, not in the city or anything, but for further vehicle manufacturing, like pop-up headlights, such as
Is it because sometimes they don't work properly?
Reliability, I think, might have had something to do with it, but it's vehicle safety. For instance, if you hit a pedestrian, your vehicle has to be curved enough for them to potentially roll over your car instead of hit something solid. With the if you're traveling fast enough and you hit a pedestrian and you have a pop-up headlight, that could just rip off a limb.
That's true.
Yeah. In here, you don't even have a windshield to roll over in, so that dude's just gonna fall into your lap and start beating the shit out of you while you're still moving.
or you're just gonna hit him so hard that he kills you on the impact. Yeah.
You yourself, you will get a fucking knee through your helmet. Honestly, this thing should have a mandatory helmet that you need to wear.
Yeah, true.
And it
shouldn't even be classified as a car. It should be classified as
by
like
the looks of these photos that I'm looking here, I don't think it even has a trunk. Yeah, it has no space for a trunk. Like, this vehicle is the definition of useless. For a price of $1.7 million, you can buy half of a car. I mean, at least the thing will be light as hell. So during these gas prices, I mean, hell, go for it.
Yeah.
Right.
And another car I want to talk about that is kind of way too expensive compared to what it's worth is the Clase Mamba.
The Mamba. I was gonna talk about that. Yes, the Mamba. Honestly, I've driven it. Its top speed is around 150 miles an hour. It spins like a rabbit, who just had a goddamn matchstick shoved up its ass.
Yeah.
But I do like it. It is definitely way too expensive for what it is. It should definitely it should be around the price range of 300,000.
It's a really sick classic car, but it's not worth 4,050,000 stock from the dealership.
I think it's that high just because its counterpart, the Shelby
Cobra.
Yeah, the Shelby Cobra 365. Don't quote me on those numbers.
Either way, the Shelby Cobra in itself is just super rare.
Oh yes, it's $1 million out of the city. That one, million point two, like a somewhat decent.
Yeah. So for the price you end up buying a Cobra out of the city, you might as well just buy I would say like a 918 Spider, for example, a Porsche 918 Spider.
Yeah.
I think they go for around 1.2, 1.3 million.
Around that price, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the Cobra itself has a lot of sentimental value to pretty much every car enthusiast because it's so rare, it's classic, it has a lot of history behind it. But at the same time, it's so rare that it would just be it wouldn't be worth it driving it because there's so much wrong that can happen to it, you know?
You would not get that thing insured at all. Like, that is a show car for sure. Insurance would be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's pretty much like driving around in like a Lamborghini Miura GT of some sort.
Oh, yes. Like a vehicle that's one of a kind, very historic. It would just, you would never get that thing insured. Never. Right.
Yeah.
Moving on. What do you think I'm going to speak about next?
What car you're going to speak about?
Yeah. Which one do you think I'm gonna bring up?
Car you're going to bring up.
Which one
that
do
we
you
haven't
think?
spoken about?
Yeah, no, a vehicle that we haven't spoken about.
I would say the Thrax or or like some of those 7 million cars.
Well, you're kind of maybe close into the price range, but I'm actually going to talk about the Tyrus. The Tyrus is a race car. It is an absolute monster when it comes to driving on a highway.
Yeah.
It does have a very decent top speed. It costs
2.250.
Yeah, 2.25 million dollars. But the problem is, I've known two Tyrus owners. Both of them have had a miserable experience with the car. That thing spins its fucking wheels at 120. Like you cannot push the throttle and take a corner in the middle of the city with that thing. This car is a misery to drive. I test drove it from both guys. Like, it really is that bad. It's just, like, the car is undrivable. If you guys want to ever feel the experience of driving a Tyrus, go grab a car. Let's just say, go grab your Fudo, your grandma's Fudo. Pop all of its tires. And see how that goes. Drive only on your rims. Just imagine that you had about 8 times the horsepower. And you'll get a rough understanding what this thing is.
This legit hurts my brain listening to how bad it is.
Oh, it was horrible. I know a guy that couldn't sell his Tyrus. He bought it because he thought it looked cool. I mean, it looks great, honestly. I've looked at it and it looks fantastic. It's just such a disappointment. It's such a shit car. And he had to sell it to the garage. He lost a decent amount of change. He lost around 20%. I think 300K, something like that. And
no, it should be closer to 500K. So 2.250, right? Then it's 10% of that is 225K.
Yeah.
Plus 225K, that's 500, right?
Yeah,
no,
probably
450.
Probably something like that.
Yeah, and buying a car that looks really cool on paper, it's supposed to perform really well, and then losing 450K on it because it's so bad, it's such a bummer. It shouldn't be like that. It's really sad.
Yeah. All right, John, what's your car?
What's my car?
Yeah. What car are we gonna talk about next? This is your pick now.
I mean, I want to talk about why, even if you have multiple millions, it's not really gonna help you, because there is some things called souped-up police cars.
Ooh.
That are ruining the experience for everyone. It's like you're buying a supercar for like 5 or 6 million. You think you're finally gonna drive away from the CVPI or like the Explorer, and then it just catches up to you doing like 190 miles per hour with no problems. It's not really a fun experience in my opinion.
I believe we did talk about this on the last episode of the police SUV just being absolutely ridiculous. Like, whoever built that thing, dude, stop working for the police. You are way too talented. You have bent the laws of physics of a fucking 4,000-pound SUV taking a turn at Legion Square at 100 miles an hour. I'm sorry, whoever you are, I will find you and I will hire you.
Yeah. It's so weird because the car, it doesn't even drift. It has such a good grip on the road that it doesn't drift even if you're doing 100 and does a turn.
It's like
right?
you're running from Scale Electric. You know what Scale Electric is?
No, I haven't heard about that.
Okay, so Scale Electric are these toy cars. You used to have them around early 2000s, maybe even the 1990s. These tracks, and in these tracks they have metal sort of railings inside.
I think I've seen it. It's like small toy cars that are going like 200 miles per hour in the circle, right?
Yes, on the track, and the track conducts electricity, and the cars have brushes on the bottom. That's scale electric. That is the SUV right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's basically scale electric 32 times aspect ratio.
Are we gonna ignore the off-roading capabilities of the cars?
Oh, God. I mean, okay.
Fair. Jesus Christ. It did 160 miles per hour on the beach. On the beach!
It reminds me of the 1986's land speed record attempts.
Yeah, Jesus the ones Christ. Where the people end up dead, or?
Yeah.
Now, of course, it's really unfortunate that people die from that. Yeah.
Rest in peace. I'm lacking words here. I wouldn't say governors.
Rest in peace, that woman from MythBusters.
Did she die?
Yeah, she tried like a land speed record and she died.
Oh.
She crashed doing like 500 kilometers per hour.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay, we are definitely dampening the mood on this one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
All right. The next car is, I believe, the most expensive car that we could really even talk about. That is just not worth the money. Now, our one of our co-hosts, who you met in the last episode, Taron Johnson, he owned this car. And he,
the RA7B?
Yes, we're going to be talking about the RE7B. The RE7B is a 4-gear rotary car. Its top speed is around 200, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. It was a great car. It looked great. Almost nobody had it in the city.
It sounded great.
It sounded great, and you could double clutch it at any speed.
Yep.
It had 4 gears, so the acceleration was also great. But it was basically, how do I say this? Supercars are already very fragile in comparison to regular supercars. If you crash into a stop sign with a supercar, your damage will be twice as much as if you would crash into with a supercar. I mean, a regular sports car. Then you have the RE7B. That thing is a supercar, but it's even softer. My friend Taron, he had T5 on this thing, and it check engined almost all the time. Not to mention that this is basically the a child of the Tyrus. It also did spin out like hell. It didn't have a license plate, so he got pulled over all the time by the cops. Is the street legal, sir? And all that kind of stuff. So, the RE7B. I really think that Taron would have loved to be here tonight, but unfortunately, duties call. So, I spoke of the horrendous RE7B in his name.
Yep.
All right. I forgot to mention the price. This is the real kicker. $7.275 million.
Jesus Christ.
That is almost a whole $1 million more than a Wagner.
And a Wagner is by far the best budget hypercar you can get.
A budget?
comparing to the Thrax, the Nero, and the D10.
It's the best handling car. Amen.
Yeah. I tested that shit out one time. I was driving from Habibi's, and before I could even pass the hood garage, I did like 180 miles per hour. It was so insane. The acceleration it's just beyond something I've seen before.
I bet your hands still are shaking.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even fathom the speed. Like I felt like my intestines were coming out of me because of the G-force, you know. it was like an electric car, but with a combustion engine, you know?
Yeah. Right. Do you have another car that you might want to say anything about? Because I have only one that I wish to speak about.
You have one more?
I have one more, but I shall let you have the floor before that one. If you have any ideas.
I don't think I have any as of now.
Right. Well, I believe the final car, it's going to be the lowest price of what we mentioned so far. It costs $370,000.
Oh?
It handles like it would be worth $150,000. Its top speed is almost equal to a Fudo, I think. What's the top speed of a Fudo? 120? No, this thing's top speed is 145. And it's modeled after a Lamborghini Gallardo. I'm talking about the Vaca.
Wait, the Vaca is that bad now?
The Vaca is horrible.
Oh my god.
The Vaca has been that horrible ever since I flew into the city for the first time, and that was back in July. The Vaca is absolutely horrible.
Because I remember the Vaca being a lot better back in the day. Like, I've been here since 2018, so I've kind of seen the city grow from... I have seen the city grow from small numbers to there being two different cities that you could be in at the same time. And yeah, just seeing a lot of improvements overall with the government and things like that. How cars handle, how they are priced. I've seen newer cars coming in, like what you would call imports, but they're not like the Lamborghinis or Ferraris or that type of imports. Like, I've seen a lot of good things, and for the Vaca to be this bad now, it's really depressing because it was such a good and underrated car back in the day.
Honestly, not too long ago, a couple of weeks back, we had major improvements on some vehicles, such as the Revolter.
Oh yeah, the Shafter V12 is by far
the Shafter V12.
Yeah.
Exactly, a lot of cars had some mechanics really put the love into them.
Yeah.
And I believe that was just a preview of something that is to come. I really do believe that there is going to be a lot of good things coming in into this city when it comes to vehicles. I do trust the religion, as I tend to call them. But this actually reminded me of one thing. Back over to the Ruston, the roofless car that we were previously thinking. If you ever actually want to buy this thing, there is a car that's almost exactly the same, looks-wise. I don't know about performance. For $418,000, you can buy the Locust. That's Locust.
Wait, you're telling me I can buy a Locust that looks almost identical?
I'd say it looks better, but it also does not have a roof or a windshield. It has a spoiler.
Oh, yeah?
Its front nose is definitely way more appealing.
Oh yeah, the Locust actually looks pretty sick.
Yeah, it looks.
It looks like an Aperta.
An Aperta? I don't.
Yeah, Aperta is it's a word for a car without a roof front shield. It's an Italian word.
Yes, I think yeah.
It's also famously been used by a group called Daily Driven Exotics, where they drive around, test out cars, and they made a Lamborghini Huracan Evo, and they call it Aperta because what they did was that they removed the soft top roof. They of course they made the car a little bit sturdier on the inside. Like they made like a roll bar on the inside, so they would be a lot more safer driving the car if it flipped around. And they removed the windshield, so it's kind of like the whole interior of the car is it's open. Like, of course, water can damage the interior and shit like that. But it's such a cool build, and they because they removed the roofs, the car is a lot lighter as well. Of course, the downsides with this is that they have to wear helmets because otherwise the wind would be
The wind would be
hurting
too
them.
much, yeah.
Yeah, it would be too much wind. But this is by far one of the sickest builds I've seen on a supercar, and they did it so good as well that it actually it made the car itself look better. And they have had people offer them well over $1 million for this car specifically. And it's also a custom one-of-one build that they built themselves.
That is astounding Carfax right there by John Peterson. This actually reminds me, I don't know if this was a concept or a limited edition vehicle. There was a roofless and a front screenless McLaren. It looked similar to the Speedtail, but what they did is they had minor flaps and air that basically it makes the air go above you instead of into you. So you're almost getting none of the air resistance when you're driving at high speed.
Are you thinking about the McLaren Elvas?
I think I am.
It's a newer model. It's a newer model McLaren, but it has no roof.
Yeah, but let's let's not get off topic. Honestly, for what we have learned today is the best car for its price for $4,000 is a lawnmower. Don't waste money on expensive cars. Waste money on cars that you need. And that would be all. Good night, everyone.
Good night.